the doubts or the questions. I also will give so my own also another paper. Once again, I checked with the Turnitin similarity index on the tool. So here you can see that this is also after in the 2020 published. So you can see that here it shows that 6% of this the paper is showing the similarity in the database that covered in the Turnitin. So what is this the 10%, 6%? If you can break this 6%, you can see some of the four resources. Okay, 3 are 1%. The one is 2. Okay, 2%. So I will tell you, to explain you how this 2% is derived or calculated. This is the around number of words from this paper is matching with this okay resource. If it is more than 1.5% of the percentage of the text is matching, they have used the algorithm to take the next number, that is a 2, as a 2%. If it is less than 1.5 percentage, so they will take to the previous round number 1%. So basically we are getting an idea that how the top the publications they have a like zero tolerance, or you can say that the no either intentional or non-intentional, though there should not be any match. So even if there is any match, you need to paraphrase it, you need to use it in our own way. And also if it really that ideas or words are taken from them, you need to use the citation for that. So this is the uh, uh, the criteria, some of the features the global publishers or different publishers are using before the manual okay review of the submitted paper. So as I said earlier, so in our available, some of the available the tools, by using some randomly 5 different paper, I published it, I checked with each tools. So that result I put it for you. So you can decide the which tool is the best tool. So why the majority of the people, the even association of the publishers, the global publisher, they are using a Turnitin or Authenticate, which both the tools are owned by the single uh, proprietary or single the company. I will explain is the article 1. Just I have not put it the title of that article. So in the Turnitin, the database, okay, it showed 5%, but whereas the other tool, the 90%, and another one is 86 the percentage. So as a research scholars, so the tool which give you the less similarity index, which you will prefer it. But there are a condition that, so why the Urkund and Unicheck was showing 86%? There is a reason behind. There is a possibility that the article 1's previous version of that paper might have been checked with these 2 databases, but those paper have not been removed. Those previous version of the paper were available for comparison, or this previous version of the article was available as a source for other people for comparison. That is one of the main reason. So if it is showing the 90%, or if you showing the above 90%, you need not to worry that. So you must ensure that whether your previous the before final version, any stage have you submitted this paper or somebody was checked on behalf of you in this the databases. As I said earlier, these databases will never give you the plagiarism report. Always it is left to the academic judgment of the people who are submitting or who are evaluating this paper. The second paper, Article 2. So in the Turnitin, it was showing the 85%, but whereas in others, 34 and 36.98. So as I said in the first article, this could be the reason that the previous version of that article was available in this database, but whereas not in these two sources. The same case with Article 3 also. With the Article 4 also, the same case. The final Article 5, you can say that, you can see that in the Turnitin, that paper was showing 20%, but in the second and third, the 0%. You can evaluate it. So by using your own the criteria, so which was the best, the tool, okay, to submit to check your paper. So each service provider or database provider of this tool algorithm is different, and also what databases they are covering, their database coverage is also different. So these are all the reason the similarity index vary from one tool to other tool for the same file. I hope, okay, you understood that how the different plagiarism detection the tool works. So what I was telling earlier is that when you are citing a somebody work, the best thing is that the citation. So why do we need a citation? Citation is the way to tell your reader that certain material in your work has come from other sources. It also gives the reader the necessary information to find that source again. So why the people are giving a author name or title of the work or the source title and the volume, issue number as well as page number, and most recently, okay, DOI. These are all the most important, okay, address the most of the people they are giving will citation in order to tell the other people okay, to find a relevant literature on this field, and as well as acknowledge the other work in the work. So this is the one of the way, citation is one of the way to avoid the plagiarism. The why citation? So these are all the reason why you are giving a citations. So to show your reader that you have studied that paper, refer that paper, in order to give a credit, to point your readers to the sources that may be useful for further research, okay, if they are interested to read more, to allow your reader to check, okay, how, okay, this paper was relevant to your work, or if they have more question about that particular field, they can study the refer literature for further study. So for every publication, there are thousands of different citation styles are available. So today, the most of the automatic or the tools or reference manager available, which are take place about citation styles automatically if you use those tools. Otherwise, you need to cite manually, okay, those citation styles. Some of this style, okay, will explain you. So while citing also, there are different ways. In case if you are following the MLA citation in your work, if you are citing one of the work of the work which you are citing directly, so that work author was Zimbardo, that year was 1962. If you are directly citing, okay, This is the paraphrase you are taking from his work. Children are totally insensitive to their parents' shyness. So okay, you are doing, you are telling that author name notes that in a double inverted comma, so ending the text, and also you giving a year in a bracket. So this, it may be vary from citations style to another citation style. Well, in case, okay, if you follow this double quote, then if you are checking that paper in any similarity index, easily you will come to know that you can exclude that quoted text in that your submitted file. Then remaining text, you can verify that whether it is written by you or exactly the paraphrase is matching with some other literature. So always, while beginning, while writing your paper, uh, whether you are using a direct or indirect, but if you use that in order to check the, okay, unintentional, okay, uh, plagiarism, I suggest you, wherever you are taking the text, use the quote. uh, this is the best way to distinguish between your writing and as well as the other writing. Same thing in an indirect way, same MLA style only. So how indirect way the author is citing, you see that some researcher noted that, you can see that instead of author name, some researcher noted that children are totally insensitive to their parents' shyness. You can see that here also double quote is there, text has taken from other source here also, but only the author name and year has come at the end. It is the indirect way of the citation. But third way is paraphrasing. So you are not taking exactly the same sentence what the author has used, but you have changed it, you modified in a better way than the original author wrote it. Here you can see the third, the way some researcher have observed that children seem unaware that their parents are considered bashful. But here also citation has been given. So if you follow the any of this, okay, citation, since it vary from citations style to citation style, from journal to journal, but if you take care about the citation method, so you need not to worry about unintentional plagiarism. So the next thing, which is the most important for research scholar, so some of the people, the always they will ask the common question is that we are getting the literature in the Google, so why do we depend on some of the other the tool? So my answer was that if definitely if the Google was giving uh, a literature which is required for everything, probably university's role was nothing. Nothing. The most of the needs of education research, if it is freely available, people would not have competed to get the education and degree in the reputed institution, and also institution also would not have invested much on the resources. So my suggestion is that always the some resources or some basic the literature which is available in the Google is always not authenticated. Always it will mislead you. Since the Google is not a publisher of any content, it's just a search engine, it will give you that search result wherever, whichever website has such a content which is available in the internet. So the universities or colleges or a public library which they have developed the collections to meet their academic and education and research needs of the students and faculty, they have carefully collected, procured and provided access. So always for authentic information for your research, please use that uh, authenticated sources like library catalogs, like you can use that library federated and discovery search. And these are all the primary resources. These resources are curated, which are evaluated. So there you can trust that this information than what you are getting in a Google. Whether those, even though if you are getting that PDF, you do not know that whether it is a original or the modification has been done. The final version of this uh, paper are the books or the journals which are available through your institute library or whatever your institute provides access. Please depend on those resources rather than depend on general Wikipedia and also Google, etc. Definitely, if you are making a breakthrough in your research, so quality of research output is depend on quality of the research input you are using. So unless if you get a quality or reputed the resources for your research work, so you cannot expect that the quality, the work. The why I am repeatedly this telling is that most of this misinformation is available not only in a media but even the scholarly communication field. So today, most of the several the publishers are come up with the idea of the open access. So taking a money without giving a review, they publish it in a short period and they disappear in a short period. So always check with that whether it is an impact factor of the journal, whether the quality of the journal, the article, with the using a primary resources, authenticated resources. So the third, the important resource I would suggest you, irrespective of your field, you know some of the well-known bibliographical database in the world, like a Scopus, the Web of Science, SciFinder Scholar, the Reaxis. There are several such databases are there. For each field, they have a dedicated databases are available for math, science, etc. So engineering village, inspect, etc. Lot of these people are carefully select the content. Their evaluation criteria are little tough to include substandard content in their databases. So in order to get the quality, the content, always they use that trusted resources for your literature or your reference or your education and your research purpose. So I will talk about a little bit citation management tools. So there are several. I listed only a few. The open source reference management tool is called Jotera. In case if you are interested to contribute, not only use but in order to enhance the existing tool, you can use the Jotera. The second one is the Mendeley, which is the free reference management the tool, which is provided by Elsewhere. What advantage you will get it today in order to write your research work? So you need not to set the manually the citation. So citation will take care automatically, and also organization of your content, whether PDF file, your HTML file, your doc file. The most important strategy or technique for research scholar is how effectively you are managing, you are organizing, you are using those tools. There are the documents. So otherwise, most of the time we will spend on research again searching the same document or different document in a different way. Either use the standalone and a web tool of this type of tool. Your success, your efficiency of your work is depend on how well managing your documents in your research journey. So if you are manually by using a word processor, if you are writing this tool, definitely you are behind what others are doing. So beginning itself, try to adopt some of this tool so that in the long run you will get a lot of benefit, time as well as efficiency and accuracy of writing your research paper or thesis or any scholarly communication, the publications. The last, I don't know how many of you are aware of this one. This is the overleaf. So overleaf also will give you the a style sheet for writing your scholarly communication work, whether it is a book, whether thesis or article, etc. Please stick to this type of. This was the uh, advanced or the better version of the LaTeX. So these are some of these, the most of the feature are available freely. So you can use this overlay, to write your works. So you can use that time what you are saving for making your document as per the specification of the different publication to do research, to do some other work which is essential for your research work rather than spending your time organization and structure your document. These are the different another citation style which I used. This is the most important. So whether you are using, whether you are from arts background, whether humanity background, the engineering background, you are different. You can use the any journal, but the most of the reviewer, the editor, who evaluate your submitted work, they will look for that the manuscript whether it is there in this IMRAD format. Maybe some people they have modified this, maybe they call in a different way, but the majority of the research publications of the manuscript, the article, they look for this format, whether it is there according to this format, IMRAD format. I stand for introduction. So while writing your paper, in introduction part, what they are looking, so what you need to give in introduction, okay, you must mention that the reason for doing that work, the what work you are submitting, you have to give the reason in that introduction itself. This is the reason I am doing this work. What the nature of your hypothesis you are using in that work, and also you need to in the introduction part itself you need to give a background along with the reason. And if you take care of these 3 points in introduction, the criteria they are using to checking to accept that one, so that criteria will be fulfilled. So I hope the most of you have used or you will use these three essential characteristic to write your research work, the article. The second part is that in IMRAD, M stands for methods. In the method part, you need to give a sufficient details of the technique to enable the work to be repeated. So in the method, you need not to skip the any point. So the result what you found. So somebody, any other person who is using this work should be able to replicate that one, which means that method is verifiable to the other people. So whether this point is there, okay, in in your manuscript. So in case if you are avoiding that method is not possible, if it is not understandable, if it is not replicable, then probably it is difficult to accept it. The third, the R stand for this part is the findings with the tables and figures and explanations. So since anyway your finding is depend on the methods, so definitely you need to give the new findings are in these results, the sections in your work. The last part, so most of the the reviewer and the journals are looking at the end is the discussion and conclusion. What is the significance of result? Okay, in relation to the reason for doing the work and to the other work as well. So how important, okay, your work for in your field. So this, if you take care in your the manuscript, this IMRAD format with this important component, the chances of okay accepting for publication is more. So there are some other tools are also available. The globally today, more than 50,000 publications are available. So more than 5,000 different publishers are publishing. But once you've done your work, so one of the way to identify the journal is probably you may get from your head or your supervisor who knows some of the journal in their field. He can suggest you. But there are way other than okay getting a suggestion from the seniors. But in your own way, you can check that. Uh, Think, check, submit. These are all the tool which are available where you can check, you can submit your abstract of the work. You can find that the which journal is the best, okay, suits to your to submit it. The why I am giving this this example. Sometimes people will submit the one journal where that journal will take say 6 months to a year, and then later on they may publish or they may not publish. Even for initial response, they may take 3-4 months to say that your article is not suitable in the journal. So to avoid that the wastage of the time in your research work, to identify the best publication for your work, so use the tools like this. So to ensure that okay, are you submitting your research to a trusted journal? Is the right journal for your work? The use okay those the checklist okay if automatically they will give that one. If it is yes, then only go for submitting. Otherwise, don't submit to any other journal which are not relevant to your work. This is the most important okay the point every researcher in India should remember. The study shows that India is a number one in a predatory publications. So you must avoid this one. The predatory open access publishing describes an exploitative open access publishing business model. It involves charging a publication fee to author without providing editorial or publishing service associated with what other legitimate journals or publisher provides. Here, in a predatory journal, publication speed is very quick in nature. Wrong impact factor of the journal they are providing, and also after publication, after certain period, so immediately those publication will get disappear. So and also once you publish a one article in that journal, probably you may get an invitation to become a reviewer or editor of the journals. So again okay they are using you as a against to attract the other people, like that they are the chain of this okay the misleading go on one by one. So you have some basic knowledge about this to avoid your association with either contributor or any role in a predatory publications. Journal impact factor. So the many people they will okay different people they claim that okay different okay impact factor for the journal. Here my intention is to tell you that the impact factor of the journal is provided by journal citation report only. So I am not going to get in detail. The impact factor journal is one of the criteria to use to judge the quality of the journal. This is the average number of citation received to the recently published the article in that particular the journal. So whenever when somebody is saying that impact factor of the journal is a particular number, always check with the journal citation report. So to verify that whether that impact factor is correct or wrong. So this is the only main reason, okay, I'm using this slide to benefit of you. Uh, Earlier I said that there is the different tool here also to identify the journal for your publication, your manuscript. These are the different publisher they are providing. Here journal suggestion. Here also if you put some abstract of your content, so you can find out the best journal to submit your journal article for publications. This is the reason the majority of the publisher who provides for rejection of the manuscript. Since mostly okay 1% to 5% or 6% of the submitted article only publisher in the major publisher. So I think it's best to know this reason, so to get avoid okay your submission. So understand that whether your article okay lack of a novelty, what is the new thing is there in your article that they will look for. If there is no new thing, if there is no novelty, if there is no originality, or your presentation is not good, it's a old study or old method, so this is the one of the reason okay for rejection of the manuscript in the best publications. So and also the rationale is the most important for okay any research work. If there is no the valid reason, if there is no okay proper rationale, so that is also the major the reason, major point for rejection. Okay, okay, which is third is unimportant, which is not a okay important. The only important which are essential for that subject in that field where you are submitting is the main the criteria to publish it, and also last class in methodology. So I hope okay you understood some of this reason that the publisher, global publisher are using to reject that paper. So some of the these are all some of the checklist you must aware of it in your research process before submitting for publication with any authority. And the majority, okay, particularly the English, which is not a mother tongue, which is not a primary the language. So the one of the reason is that okay, the language people will say that improve the language. So today there are various the agencies which are providing a language editing service for either for thesis or article. You may be very expert in that okay in that subject matter, but the presentation and also proficiency in the language because this the language is a scientific language. When you are writing in engineering and science, communicating something, so science communication is very important. So in case if you are a lack okay in the presentation skill, or if the reviewer itself says that improve that skill, then instead of wasting a lot of time to improve that English language, so you can use that okay language editing service provided by different service provider, so that you can minimize the time in checking the grammar, syntax, semantics of the English language. So you can take you can work more on okay research work, the less on English language editing okay work. So these are some of the online tools also available. So apart from that, if you need a professional service for your research work, you can use that. Most of the top university in the world also they are using this okay third party for their scholarly communication work. So there is nothing like that okay to say that we are do not have enough okay, scholarly communication or science communication, uh, proficiency or expertise in that. So since the global publisher are using some of the service provider also depend on this, okay, the client. So this will help you in the beginning, but later stage you can write yourself. So once you done your research work, it is important to market your, okay, to disseminate your, okay, research work, okay, behind the publisher work. So these are all the some of the resources where you can make a difference. You can reach to the other people, to reach the wider audience by submitting your paper in your institution repository or subject repository, or some of the data or information sharing the tools which are available freely, like Figshare, SlideShare. So some of these things, even though you have a certain documents, you can get a DOA also free for your article even before, okay, whatever document you have. So you use these, okay, some of the tools, but there are like a different, okay, repository available for different, okay, subjects. So so my suggestion is that stick to your subject discipline repository, so that you will get up to date the information what is happening in your field, even sometimes not depending on the paid content. So since it's most of these things are open access contents are available in different repositories. So I think I already told the first point. How do you identify the high impact factor journal in your research area? So the primary source to identify the impact factor of the journal is a journal citation report, and also to disseminate your research work, since your promotion, your research grant, and also new opportunities are depend on your H-index of the article. So it is important to market to get a user for your work. So you need to deposit in a different, okay, repository. And also if you, always all the publisher will not allow you to deposit your final version of the thesis in a different repository, to check that what rights we have. So the copyright policy, the Romeo Sherpa will give you that, okay, up to what stage you can share your article, which copyright has been taken by the publisher, what right you have, up to what level you can share your content. And also, I would request to all of you to create a researcher ID, author ID, a Google citation ID, okay, to know the impact of your research work yourself, so without depending on the third party. So ultimately, uh, the progress or your professional growth is depend on every individual. So use the available tools and technology and make it available your research, make it available your research discoverable to the other fellow researcher in the world. I don't know how many of you have. Suppose in case if you don't have, create a ORCID ID, Open Researcher Contribution ID. So here, the advantages here is that, so every time if you are writing a different, okay, publisher for writing an article, you need not to create a ID for every publication. So you can use directly ORCID. So ORCID ID is like we have Aadhaar ID, a UID in India. So for scholarly communication, ORCID ID is very important, whether you are a new researcher or with an expert. So if you are working in a scholarly communication field, please create a ORCID ID. So it will help you in a lot of way for your research, the journey. So this is the Altimetrics. This is the alternative metrics. So where the earlier the impact factor and also citation, to get a citation to your article, it takes a time. It takes 6 months. It takes 1 year. But in order to know immediately the impact of your article in the scholarly communication, the world, So how many times it has been shared, how many people they have read, how many people follow. This is the emerging the metrics which are used in the scholarly communication world to measure the quality of your work. So, if you use some of the freely available Archid and also institutional repository and also Figshare, so you will get a Mendeley, etc. So this art metrics you will get free for your work. So there you can use this as a tool to marketing your work, to explain the impact of your work apart from the H-index or impact after the journal where you published it. And this is also one of the criteria recently used by different funding agencies as well as award, the agencies, etc. I hope many of you might be knowing that H-index. In case if you don't know, the H-index, an index that attempt to measure both the productivity and impact of the published work of a scientist or scholar. The index is based on the set of the scientist's most cited paper and the number of citations they have received in other publications. This index can be applied to the individual, as a group, as a department, as well as university and country. So before H-index, people used to use a criteria, how many publications author has published. So the disadvantage is that the X number of, the scientists might have published around thousands of articles, but out of 1,000, 700, 800 journal might have published in some of the low impact factor journal. 80% of the article might not have received even single citation. So in order to measure quality of the scientist, so they have come up with the H-index. So H-index says that it does not say about how many articles he has published. So how many of the articles are really made a difference. So how many of these articles have a quality in terms of citation they have received. In case if you do not aware of it, number of publication as well as the index, the difference between these two is this one. So here I will explain you that. So since the majority, everybody will think that, there are different databases which will take care about all the plagiarism aspect. So I will tell you in details what is the loopholes, what exactly this Turnitin database does. Around probably in India, the IIT Bombay was the first to use this type of tools. I will tell you in the beginning, around a decade back, even though this type of tools were given free for the many people were not ready to use. So the main the reason they were assigning is that their content it goes to the internet before publishing into the publications. So most of the people used to think that no, there is no guarantee that this document will be protected and they will protect the privacy, etc. But it took a lot of time to explain this. These things. No, this is a trusted resources. It will not go to anywhere other than checking similarity, checking purpose. So the today almost all thousands of universities in India are using. This is where sometimes always the best people they will use the beginning, the later on other people use after a decade. So there is nothing to worry here. So your research work can be submitted here. So you have a authority whether to make it available for other as your submitted file as a source, or you can protect your privacy. But it depends on how you use it. So what exactly this Turnitin database it does? It checks the submitted paper with the available material covered in that particular database. If there is any string of text that matches something already in the Turnitin database, the Turnitin will highlight the matching text and report it as a originality report. That is nothing. So you need not to worry about this, okay, particularly privacy of that things. Since it's a paid, so there is a lot of security aspect. They will take care. And second most important thing is that even if you submit the paper to the any journal without using the Turnitin database, but however the different publishers are also using this tool only to check that paper. So before assigning that work for manual peer review. So the best thing is that yourself before submitting, ensure that okay there are no okay intentional or unintentional plagiarism in your work. Everything, whatever sources they have Turnitin, they have a different category. One is student paper repository. This is the most important for research scholar. If you are submitting your paper, okay, before submitting to the publication, so it will create their own repository that is called student paper repository. But here you have a choice whether your paper goes permanently to the student repository or check the paper and delete it immediately. That option, that control is with you, whoever is checking that paper. The second source is the freely available internet content. The third okay important resource this okay plagiarism detection tool service provider they are using is publisher content, where archive or current content of the books, conference proceeding, etc. These are the three and the different resources they are using as a source database to check your paper. So yeah, these are all some of the way they can use it today. Most of the people are using cloud-based Dropbox, Google Drive, etc. So if you are using some of the third party tool, so rather than submitting every time doc file, you can directly link, you can share with that. So there you can avoid a lot of time. So as I said beginning also, it identifies the resources and categorize in the different color and arranging it a descending order of the similarity index in the source file. So there are some the limit. So if you have 1,000 files, okay, all the 1,000 files, particularly publisher, it is, since for individual it is immaterial, but must be there are some criteria, but ensure that okay your suppose sometimes it will give you 0 or it will not compare your report. So these are all the criteria. Okay, your file format, your file size, the number of paper, the number of words in your file. These are all the some of the criteria you must know that. Okay, so in order to know that, in case if you don't get a similarity index or originality report from these sources, that originality report inbox will give you this picture. So the every submitted file, even for publishers interface, will get you the report. If the thousands or lakhs of papers are submitted, so this will categorize in this 5 color. I will go from okay bottom to the up. If the submitted file is more than 75% to 100% is matching, so it will color in a red color. So if it is matching is between 50 to 70%, it will give you an orange color category. 25 to 49%, it will see the yellow color. The green, it will give the 21 to 24%. So the green, probably the way generally we think that the same okay, meaning it connotes. So the most of the publishers also will use this similarity index. Ensure that any of your manuscript or your research work will be in this category. What I explained in okay previous slide. This is how the publisher or the people who are checking your paper will get the okay similarity index okay dashboard. So you can see that million of paper you can within a minute you can categorize it. So you can take a automatic decision for some of the submitted paper. This is where okay and the like a machine data science, artificial intelligence, etc. will be useful for okay machine okay the review okay before assigning to manual review. The summary of my the topic is that today the India, in order to achieve the technologically the self reliance, the quality research is very important. So in order to do the quality research in any field, so it's a very important to have our original contribution. It's important to increase the quantity as well as the quality of research. So it is impossible to have a quality without quantity. So it is important to contribute on the research paper or research work to finding something new, to achieve progress in the society. It is important to understand the global research practice, what tools they are using for writing, submitting, the evaluation, the etc. So since the academic integrity, honesty is a prerequisite in order to achieve all these things. Research is a dynamic in nature and it is a continuous process. Research manpower is a very important asset as well as important renewable energy for the fastest growing economy like India. I hope all of you understood some of the best practices used in research, scholarly communication field. I hope, though there are some many talks are available in YouTube, some of the talk you might have attended or you will attend in future, you find something new from my topic. It would be useful to all of you. That's all from me. Wish you all the best. Thank you once again for your patience and time.
Sir, very good presentation, very useful for particularly the new researchers like us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Alok.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I can take your questions.
Yeah, I think I'll just, he's not able to hear through.
Sir, if it is possible to have a quick summary of what was covered, there were several useful points covered. Would it be possible to have a quick run through of the presentation from the beginning? I mean, just for a summary view, if possible.
Sir, are you able to hear them on the Google Meet?
Can you repeat that question, madam?
Yes, sir, I just said it was a lot of good content that you shared, and for a quick summary, if you can just walk through the slides that you presented, it would be nice, sir, if possible.
Sir, are you able to hear him on WhatsApp?
Yeah, no, madam, I didn't hear that question properly.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, you can repeat that.
Yes, I will communicate that to you on WhatsApp.
Okay.
So he's saying that if you could possibly give a brief summary of the entire thing from the beginning. Just a brief summary if possible.
Okay, conclusion.
Yeah. In the meantime, I request others to please post the questions in the chat box so that we can take them.
Yes. After that, later on, there are some questions I will answer. So let me the summary of my topic. In brief, in 2-3 lines, I will share with you. So what I said, what is the position of the India in the scholarly communication? Where we are, in which position we are. So we are in a third position. So, but there is a lot of gap between first, second, and third. So, for example, we are publishing annually around 2 lakh publication in every year. The China, which is publishing more than 7 lakh publication every year, and the US, which is publishing second position, which is publishing around 6 lakh publication every year. So, around 3.4 to 3.5 full-time researchers are working in a different field. So if you take the average publication for a researcher, which is less than 1, So there is a enormous opportunity for Indian researcher to contribute in a global the publications. So the research manpower is important for the growth of the economy and also GDP. So I covered this one. So in order to increase the research productivity, we need to use the global standards. Either the content, we should be able to access the content in the world, and also we need to use the best tools. Okay, to write a paper like a LaTeX, like Overleaf, reference manager, and also to check the paper like a global publisher or the best university which are using like a Authenticate, Turnitin, the etc. So, and also I gave you an overview of how these plagiarism detection, the softwares are working. So since the most of the time people are publishing for one publication to another publication by mistake, or since they are taking a lot of time to respond, how to identify the best publication for your work. And also I give you that how the different service provider of the similarity index, how their algorithm is different, how their data coverage is different. So why for same file different service provider will give the different similarity index. So I gave you the brief on the functions and overview, tools and technology used like ORCID, Researcher ID, Figshare, etc., institutional repository, and also Altmetrics, impact factor journals, and the etc. I hope I covered whatever I talked. Okay, in a brief summary.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let me to take the question one by one. Okay. Important everyone also use the opportunity. Okay, doubts. Okay. So what to do if the withdrawal request is not accepted by journal? Still they have go for publication without any consent from the author. So Aishwarya G, okay, SHS Pharmacy. Our question is that what to do if a withdrawal request is not accepted by journal? Still they go for publication without any consent from the author. So please, okay, you see that okay, before submitting, they have they will take a acceptance. They have a certain conditions. So whether you can withdraw, okay, in between. So in that case, is there beginning submitting itself? You can clarify that one. If all most of the publisher they have a standard time to respond it. In case if their condition is okay not acceptable to you, the beginning itself you don't submit it. In case so due to some unavoidable reason or other things you want to withdraw it, but you can send a 1 or 2 reminder. Yeah, if it is a genuine reason. But yeah, most of the okay scholarly communication, the publisher is the associate. They have a member of the different organization. Definitely, they also have a responsibility to fulfill it. So without any reason, I think nobody will deny it. But in this case, after sending a 1 or 2 reminder, also if they don't respond it, stipulated in a period, yeah, you can take call. Okay, no one will stop you. Okay, from submitting to the another. But if you are expecting in a very short period what they have given, then okay, they might have rights to say that you have accepted our terms and conditions. So most of the people they blindly accept the terms and conditions. That is the biggest mistake. Always before submitting, please check their policy. Second question is how to get access to Turnitin. Yeah, Turnitin is a commercial, okay, paid subscription. You check with your institute and the library whether they have a subscription to this Turnitin. If not, yeah, you can recommend it to your librarian or your HOD so that they will evaluate your request. They may take call up to go for subscription. I think probably, I don't know whether in AICT consortium whether they will give you the Urkund. I think Urkund is a national level subscription is there for all university, but check with your library alternative product Urkund, you might have access. And the next question, in your experience, which is the best citation management tool? What is the correct way to include a web reference? This one, since most of the tools are commercial, okay, I cannot tell you the best, but globally, EndNote, Mendeley, there are the different tools are available. You can use in India. These two are very popular. Okay, EndNote and Mendeley. Of course, Jotera is there. It is a open source. Probably you may not get a support. It may take time to get a support. You can use this tool, and also to write your article. Free tool is available. Overleaf. You can use the Overleaf. The another question is that what is the best way for web reference? So how to refer the web reference? Once again, it's a depend on which citation style you are using. So it depends from one citation style to another citation style. So if you tell the citation style which you are using, it will give you the correct way of citing the web reference. And the sub question is current statistics of products usage. I think I answered this one. Okay, in India, these two, Mendeley and EndNote, are heavily used. How to get some of the other browsing tools like a ENS connected host or browsing tool. I am not getting what is this ENS connected host tool. So, okay, Matthew, the EBSCO host at all. So the EBSCO is one of the aggregator of the content, and neither they are not a publisher. They take the content from different publisher. They will provide the content through EBSCO platform with a different sub product like a abstracting, indexing databases, a discovery tool, and also they are providing access to some journal, books, etc. I hope aggregator you understood that. They are the business. They take the content from the primary, they sell it in from one place. Particularly the way the Google, it provides the free, but these people will charge. They will take the content and they will provide to the user as well as library. This is not a browsing tool. This is the aggregator of the content. This is one of the service provider. They provide the library technology as well as EBSCO. And the last question, feedback. Okay, I answered all the questions. Madam, I answered all the questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? You need to take my call, my WhatsApp call. So while sir is taking the call, I think we've got most of the information from the presentation. Couple of things which sir was saying in addition to that, if I were to add on, number one is Turnitin is very much available with our institution. However, we will let you know the details. It is available with the DSI library in Kumaraswamy layout. And Urkund is also available, like every one of you have activated Original. Original has been the renamed tool from UGC that is also there with Dayanand Sagarya University that sir was saying, Dr. Manju sir was saying that we will definitely be having the access. Yes, we do have an access. And EBSCO is also available with DSU. This is for the benefit of all scholars. And we will also let you know in due course of time about the access, and perhaps we'll have one session of facilitation for the same. So that is about it, and I think Sir has given a very elaborate presentation. I was noticing that. Sir, thank you so much for your presentation, because it has highlighted a lot of the important aspects about publication, which even as scholars or as researchers, we ourselves have gone through the hard grind to know many of these details. Yes, Mendeley is something that is normally used by a lot of people, and perhaps we'll have a session on that as well. So, to answer Desiree's and many researchers' question about the citation, the reference tool management system, which Sir has highlighted. And the best part is, please go through the entire PPT which Sir will be sharing with all of you, because coming from IIT Bombay, I think the premier institution in our country, he is talking about some of the best practices, some of the entire repositories or tools that are available for this topic has been elaborated by him. And definitely, being the Chief Library Officer at Central Library, IIT Bombay, Sir has been able to, or he is actually the right person to kind of brief research scholars about all the possible resources nationally and internationally available. So, Sir, we really thank you for your time. And if there is any question, somebody can mute and ask the question, because recorded session will be available. But I feel that in addition to the recorded sessions and the PPTs that are there, it is always very much important to take advantage of resource persons like Dr. Manju Naika from IIT Bombay, while he is in the session, to address any kind of doubts, clarifications, or any kind of question that comes to the mind. Because the recorded sessions and PPT access post the live session is only going to be for reference, but you don't really get a chance to ask the resource person from a top-notch institution doubts that you might have, which can help in the research journey. So if any doubts, anything that is there, which research scholars or guests would like to ask, we have about a minute to take on any kind of questions or any kind of comments or any kind of observations that Sir may have. Sir, you're able to hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So we'll stand by for any doubts here.
Okay.
So here we had in this session Dr. Manju Naika, who is currently working as Chief Library Officer at Central Library, Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. He is the head of Central Library at IIT Bombay, and he oversees the library officers and staff at the institution and ensures that daily library operations are running efficiently, planning and implementation of new initiatives, preparation of budgets, negotiation of contracts for library resources, services, and other IT equipment. He has published several research papers in journals and conference proceedings, and he has 18 years of experience in the library field. He has received the 2015 Global Innovation Award for demonstrating innovation and excellence in promoting student engagement to support student learning and creating awareness about academic integrity at IIT Bombay. So we had the opportunity to have Sir in the session today at Dayanand Sagar University. And Sir has given an extensive presentation today in the session 10 to 12 o'clock. And this was a webinar wherein Research Cell Dayanand Sagar University has welcomed the distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Manju Naika, Chief Library Officer, IIT Bombay. We are grateful to our university management, Dr. K.P. Murthy Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Putmadappa Sir, Registrar of Dayanand Sagar University, Dr. M.K. Banga, Dean Research, Dayanand Sagar University, and I as the convener, Dr. Anupama, Assistant Registrar, Research Cell, to have had the opportunity, privilege, and honor to invite Dr. Manju Naika, Chief Library Officer, IIT Bombay, to address our PhD research scholars on the topic of how to improve your academic reputation by avoiding plagiarism as part of the PhD research coursework mandated for research and publication ethics, a mandatory compulsory paper mandated by UGC, University Grants Commission, India, for all research scholars pursuing doctoral programs at Indian universities. And we have had the privilege and opportunity also to extend the invitation to all outside academic community stakeholders to be part of this session, as the purpose is to continue our consistent commitment to the spirit of maintaining highest quality research ethics and research standards, not only in our university among all academic stakeholders, but also to ensure that research ethics standards are followed, not as part of only the regulatory requirements, but also as a part of the research ethos that is there for pursuing research as knowledge acquisition and gain and dissemination for humanity. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, so much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. I have already shared my presentation through all the users. Those who
Thank
are
you, sir.
currently
Yes,
joined,
sir.
they can download now.
All right, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much,
send
madam.
you by email.
Oh, yes,
And
madam.
I think there are no more doubts. If there is anything, we will have, I think, subsequent sessions with sir going forward at suitable times, and we'll keep everyone posted about the same.
Yeah, I think somebody has raised the question.
Yes, Narendra VH, sir, you've raised your hand. Would you like to say something?
No, madam.
Okay, by mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
Okay,
Yes,
madam.
sir.
Thank you.
Well explained, yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, madam. We can end this session.
Right, sir. Before I end the session, this is for the information of all concerned that Research Cell Dayananda Sagar University's webinar today will continue from 2 o'clock, Indian Standard Time of 2 o'clock, with the session of Dr. Amitabh Anand, Associate Professor, Excellier Business School, La Rochelle, France. So we go forward at 2 o'clock to welcome our international distinguished guest speaker, who will be addressing research scholars on research ethics, awareness of publication misconduct. And this is going to be from Dr. Amitabh Anand, who was honored with Excellence in Award from the South Asian Journal of Human Resources, an Emerging Scholar Award from Organization Studies Research Network, Germany. He is a professor from Europe to be included in Poets and Quants 2018 list of the top 50 world's best professors out of 400 nominations globally. He was awarded the Outstanding Pedagogical Innovation Award. He also lectures at universities in India, Russia, Italy, and the Nordic countries as a visiting professor. So we look forward to welcoming him at 2 o'clock, and I request all participants and guests to rejoin back at 2 o'clock at the same link. Thank you so much.
This kind of
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much for joining in. We'll rejoin back. Thank you.
Thank you.
but